defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am coming to you guys right before I fly out for Freedom Fest. I know I'm doing this last minute. I did not have a show last week. I'm telling you guys, I have been struggling, trying to farm, and I've been so damn busy. I'm trying to get this show. I got to get back in my groove. I know, guys, I really am. I'm working on it. Just so much to do. No excuses. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. Well, anyway, guys, yes, as I said, I am going to Freedom Fest, and I hope many of you out there do plan on going. You guys have heard me on this show brag about Freedom Fest and like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing event. And I'm not kidding you. It really is. People's books you have read, people you know, people you respect, they're giving presentations at Freedom Fest. They're on panel discussions. There's so many different viewpoints that are expressed at Freedom Fest. And actually they have a little Facebook group for people attending Freedom Fest, that sort of thing. And, there's some people criticizing, oh my gosh, why are these people here? This isn't libertarian. But it's like, hey, for me, okay, it's like, whatever. Donald Trump was at Freedom Fest 2 years ago when Trump was a month into his campaign for president, which we all thought was a joke, which, full disclosure, I thought was a joke. He's a cartoon character. And I was going to go up there at Freedom Fest to Donald Trump. I wanted to ask Donald Trump. I know this seems like a stupid thing to ask and it's retarded, but I like to do stuff like that. I was going to ask Donald Trump, Mr. Trump, how does it feel if you are elected to be president of the United States? How does it feel to be the first cartoon character elected president? And, who knows? Something stupid like that could have went viral. I mean, I can't believe half the crap that goes viral today anyway. So, you know what? That's kind of my personality anyway. I like to say kind of dumb things and just kind of how you get people's vibe off of saying certain things. And, it's fun, but I don't mean any harm in it. It's just I was being honest. I really think Donald Trump is some sort of a cartoon character. And I remember pointing out, because I was always talking about the debates on this show and so forth. And at that time, I was pointing out, yeah, Donald Trump, if he's president, he will be the first cartoon character elected president. And then I hear I think it was a CNN debate, where they mention in the question asking and basically relating Donald Trump to a cartoon character. So I guess there was some relevance to what I was saying. But I mean, just a guy with so much personality and how he says things, just kind of like how I like to say dumb things to get a reaction and try to understand someone, so forth. Trump does a similar thing. And kind of how he says things, how he tweaks the media. It's all purposeful. And they fall for it every time. I mean, when Trump was running for president, this guy was the top news stories every single day. I mean, he knows how to manipulate the media. So there's definitely, you got to give Trump credit for that. Obviously, he lacks in other areas, but he makes up for it with that personality. People look for a guy with big personality. How many people today want to be celebrities? They start their things on YouTube. You got this couple. I think that's what it was. It's like this guy and this girl, and it's like, oh my gosh, we got to make a video going viral. We can get a bunch of money from ads. And so this chick's got like a 50 cal, and she shoots it at this guy. I don't know, he's holding I don't know if he's got a vest on or something. Like, oh, yeah, this is going to make us famous. Or he's holding a book, and he's thinking the book will stop the bullet. Anyway, the guy dies recording this video. People are always trying to become famous. How did Kim Kardashian become famous? I think it was from some sex video, and then Kardashians, and you got, what's his name, Bruce Jenner, and now it's Caitlyn Jenner, or whatever he's going to be next. Maybe now he moves back. Can he be Bruce anymore? Is it going to have to be something else because it's a different sort of transition? I don't know. But people always want to be famous. And for me, I don't have that feeling. I don't want to be famous. Famous people have other issues to deal with. Could you imagine going to something, this is a very simple thing. If you're someone who appreciates the simple things in life and you can't do them because there's always people harassing you. I kind of like to, I'm doing my shopping, that sort of thing. I just want to get stuff done, get home. I just like to get that sort of stuff done. But yeah, I do like to enjoy myself, going on cruises, the Contra cruise, whatever it is. Freedom Fest is an awesome event to go to. I don't know. I just don't have that vibe. I don't want that. But it's cool. Yeah. Do I want to be successful? Well, hell yeah, I do. I'm working on it. You got to work on yourself. But anyway, guys, I'm going on a huge tangent here. I don't know what the heck where this came from. But anyway, yes, I'm going to Freedom Fest. If you're not at Freedom Fest, you are missing out. Freedom Fest is awesome. And the second favorite thing I like to do every year, actually it's probably my favorite, is the Contra Cruise. The Contra Cruise is awesome. Hanging out with awesome people. I mean, seriously, the people who go to that, we feel like we're a family. I'm really not kidding you. And when it comes down to it in life, isn't it really about your relationships you have with other people? Money doesn't matter, Yeah, you can say you're successful doing this, you accomplish this goal, that goal. Okay, that's great. But once people accomplish these goals in life, then it's always, okay, well, what's the next thing? But if people can love and respect you, or okay, maybe just respect you, and just being genuine with people. People can sense when someone's being genuine, when someone is not being genuine. It really is just, and maybe it's a little tiny thing you do. You have an effect on that person. It's just amazing how I can relate back and think about this, what someone wouldn't think about as a big deal, but to you, it's like, wow, it just gets you to think about certain things, or how people ask in these moments where most people would freak out and this person doesn't, or whatever it is. But anyway, guys, speaking of just stuff going crazy, and actually, no, I have to say something about the Contra Cruise before I go any further. Sorry, guys. So I recorded a video. If there's a bunch of you listeners out there who listen to the Contra Krugman podcast with Tom Woods and Bob Murphy, they had a contest where it's like, hey, record a video promoting the Contra Cruise. No, sorry, promoting the Contra Krugman podcast. And it can't be any longer than a minute. And you have to at least have somewhere in the video, has to be contrakrugman.com. So when they first announced that contest, I kind of had an idea. Like, okay, oh yeah, we're going to do this. I get that John Lennon costume. Let's break that thing out. And then time goes by because they basically had a 2-week period. It comes to the very last day with hours remaining. I call my girlfriend up. I'm like, we've got to do this tonight. I just want to, okay, I might not have the best one, whatever. I just got to do it. I want to have my hat in the ring because basically they're taking 2 people and the winners get their cruise paid for. Well, I already plan on going on the cruise. So I guess if I could save some money and get it paid for, well, hell, I might as well try for it. So I did. And so you guys can check that video out. Damn it, I didn't pull up. I think it's contrakrugman.com/contest 2018. Yes, I'm very certain that's exactly what it is. And you can scroll through. You can see all the submissions there. So if you see a guy there with long hair in a green outfit from the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band album cover, that's me. And I just lay out a video. It's exactly a minute long. And I'm promoting the podcast. I do it in kind of a unique way. Yes, I am using a fly swatter as my pointer. Yes, that's the thing with these videos. Okay, I went and I saw right before I recorded. I wasn't going to do it because I don't like watching what other people do. Before I record something, I want to feel like, oh my gosh, I got this idea from them. But I did watch the other submissions right before submitting mine, just a few hours before it was due and recording it. And oh my gosh, there were some that were just so professionally done, like it looked like a commercial. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, I can't beat that. I don't have time. I'm not going to try to edit and bring in, have amazing transitions and all this stuff and pulling up quotes from Krugman's columns. I ain't got time for that, okay? So what I want to do, I just need to up the crazy and just be all out, be like a TV pitch man. Like, what's the name of that guy who's a TV pitch man, always selling stuff? And then he's on a plane. I just remember hearing about the article. And like someone's luggage lands on his head. And then like a week later, this guy dies. Oh, something Mays. Billy Mays, I think, is the name of the guy. Yeah, and the guy dies. He's only like 40-some years old, maybe 50. But all the commercials I've seen on TV stuff, he was doing all of them. Well, a lot of them. And yeah, so I'm basically a John Lennon TV pitch man, getting all crazy with my fly swatter, got my projector screen behind me, contrakrugman.com, I'm pointing all this stuff out, I'm bragging up Bob Murphy and Tom Woods, and I'm saying why you should listen to the Contra Krugman podcast. And yes, I even used a tasteless joke saying that the podcast is free, just like the Justin Moore show, and that even a Venezuelan could afford that. So yeah, I mean, you can be very mad at me and upset at me for pointing out and kind of making fun of the situation in Venezuela, which I'm not. I'm just pointing out, hey, look, this thing is so cheap, it's free, that a Venezuelan can afford it. Okay? So you want to send me stuff on Twitter? Fine, go ahead. I don't give a crap. Whatever. But anyway, back to what I kind of want to do on this show. And now, hell, speaking of Venezuela, this is exactly what I want to talk about. I want to keep this episode short because seriously, I haven't even started packing yet, and I fly out early in the morning. So anyway, I just have the article right in front of me. Man, this is all last minute here. So you guys have heard about what's going on in Venezuela, and I've done probably 4 or 5 episodes on it. They're experiencing hyperinflation, and I've been following this story from the very beginning, before there was hyperinflation. Well, anyway, here they are in Venezuela. Their currency is worthless. You know, that 14,000% inflation this year. Well, guess what they're doing? And it's actually smart. Instead of trying to use a spiraling out of control currency to try to exchange that money for goods, the Venezuelans today have decided that bartering is more efficient and a better way to go about trading. So that is exactly what is going on. And this article is laying it out. Here it is. I'm not sure how much I'll read from this thing. But I just want to give you guys a flavor and the feel of this hellhole Venezuela. But that used to not be a hellhole. It used to be like a first world country. And now it is a hellhole. Why? Because of, 18, 19 years of socialism? That is what that gets you, Bernie Sanders. Anyway, the article here from Reuters starts out. Okay, yes, I'm a world traveler, but I do mispronounce names of cities and so forth. So Rio Chico, Venezuela. Under the midday suns, dozens of fishermen wait to sell their day's catch by a lagoon in the town of Rio Chico on the Caribbean coast of Venezuela, but they aren't expecting cash in return. Instead, they're swapping mullets and snappers for packages of flour, rice, and cooking oil. Quote, "There is no cash here, only barter," said Melody Lovera, 30, walking along the shore with a cooler of fish that her husband had caught. She hoped to exchange it for food to feed her 4 children, or medicine to treat her son's epilepsy. In the hyperinflationary South American country where banknotes are so difficult to find as chronically scarce food and medicine, Venezuelans are increasingly relying on barter for basic transactions. Payment for even the cheapest of goods and services would require unwieldy piles of banknotes, and there simply are not enough of those in circulation. Oh, well, this gets back to that old idea. Just like in the Weimar Republic in Germany, people thought, and the government officials thought, there just isn't enough money out there. That's why we have to keep printing more and more and more. Now, of course, you bring this up to some Keynesian today, it's like, they don't print it. Whether it's printed or digital, it doesn't matter. Add zeros to it. You destroy people's savings in the process. Now, as I'm reading this article just a little bit farther, I want to try to tie in here with an example of a great way to protect yourself, and why I've stressed on my show, I've named a few ways to do so, to prepare yourself, and why it's beneficial. And this situation in Venezuela right now shows exactly this. So continuing on here. Okay. While formal businesses and cities can get by on bank transfers and debit cards, such as operations are largely out of the question in rural areas such as Rio Chico, population 20,000. Even in the capital of Caracas, some 81 miles to the west, many informal merchants lack access to bank services or point-of-sale terminals and prefer to be paid in kind. Quote, "It is a very primitive payment system, but it's also very primitive for a country not to have enough cash available," end quote, said economist Luis Vicente Leon of Consultancy de Talanisis. Wow, what the hell? Economists say the central bank has not printed bills fast enough to keep up with inflation, which, according to the opposition-run Congress, reached an annual rate of almost 25,000% in May. Holy crap, that's up from the 14,000 I just mentioned earlier. 25,000%! Can you imagine that, ladies and gentlemen? Here the Fed's talking about, we're trying to get that benchmark 2%, blah, 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 which is actually higher than that. But still, 25,000%? Continuing on. Once one of Latin America's wealthiest countries, that is true, Venezuela's economic collapse under President Nicolas Maduro, government drove nearly 1 million people, 3% of the population, to emigrate between 2015 and 2017, so just recently. Maduro, re-elected to a fresh 6-year term in May, in elections condemned by the United States, blames spiraling consumer prices and constant shortages of food and medicine on an economic war led by the opposition in Washington. See, these little dictators like frickin' Maduro, they always want to blame somebody. Guess what? When this sort of crap happens in the United States of America, do you think a Trump-like figure, someone like him, God forbid if Hillary Clinton somehow got elected, sounds like she's going to run in 2020, which is scary as hell. What do you think politicians in the United States will do? They're going to blame the small businessman. They're going to blame somebody else. Oh, it's these greedy capitalists, these big businesses. Yeah, big businesses, small businesses. But it's like, oh no, but we're all about the middle class and the poor. Oh my gosh, we got to help them out. Well, they destroy them at the same time. Exactly what the government wants to do to help people, like Maduro's been trying to do. Maduro was calling for setting and fixing prices. Why the hell do you think you have shortages? Because the government thinks they can dictate prices. They can't. If you have a good, you're putting a lot of cost into it. You're a farmer, or you're milking all your little dairy cows. And the government's like, hey, we're only going to pay you $3 a gallon. When really your costs are, say, around $6 a gallon. Do you think you will sell your gallons to the government or try to sell them to a black market and try to get about what the market's wanting, around $6, $7? Yeah, that's where the black markets come from. There are black markets that are flourishing in Maduro. That's how people are able to survive, is because of the black markets, not because of the government. The government is why people are starving to death. What the heck did I read? What? The average Venezuelan's lost like 60 pounds, something like that. And actually for me, I'm actually trying to lose weight too. Man, I've really changed my diet. I'm like eating healthy and crap. A thing I think of as a snack, I'm eating an apple with peanut butter. But now I'm heading to Vegas tomorrow. Okay, I might have to, I might cheat a little bit on my diet. But man, I couldn't imagine. The average person, I mean, I'm sure these guys are already small, now they're even smaller. Anyway, guys, let me just a few more paragraphs here. I kind of like how this article's going here. Julio Blanco, a 35-year-old motorcycle driver in Caracas, I'm sure he's not an Uber driver, said he now allows trusted clients to make payments by bank transfer because that is simply not enough to cash available. Oh, so he is sort of an Uber driver. Okay, he must have like a buddy seat, or he's pulling some sort of cart behind him. So it's a little different than the Uber here in the United States. Okay, guys, continuing on. Quote, I prefer food as payment, said Blanco. While waiting for customers at the poor west end of Caracas, I do services for food in order to survive. In the hillside Caracas slum of La Verga, home to 124,000 people, Alfred Silva offers a haircut for 1 million bolivars, about 30 cents at the black market exchange rate. He accepts transfers or food, but sometimes takes clients to a nearby butcher shop and asks them to buy him something worth the same as the haircut. Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm going to have to read this thing again. And let's first try to understand this, and then I'll read it again. Okay, so here's this guy. He gives haircuts to people. And he's like, he's thinking about, the problem with barter is the double coincidence of wants. And it's like, man, if you're offering a service like a haircut, well then, okay, whatever this guy exchanges you, it's got to be something that you want. Obviously, this guy is not a vegetarian. He wants meat. Or he knows that people will accept the meat. So he's using it as a medium of exchange. That's how money comes into existence. But anyway, here's this guy. He cuts this guy's hair, and he's like, okay, you got nothing I don't want? No, I don't want your little piece of crap sweater that you knitted together. Obviously, you have no skill with knitting sweaters or cloths or washcloths, whatever. Heck, maybe you don't even shower, so you don't need a washcloth. So this guy that gave the haircut to this other guy, he's like, hey, you know what, man? Let's go over to the butcher shop, and you get me a slab of meat about the value of my haircut, okay? And so that's here he is using barter. I mean, heck, I would do something like that. I think the guy's smart. And now continuing on here, and sorry, forgive my accent. I kind of want to use it here every once in a while. In Rio Chico, Marvin Guaramato arrives at the lagoon driving a car loaded with boxes of oil, pasta, and corn flour, which is used to make a Venezuelan grilled pancake known as arepas. Oh, there's only 2 sentences left in this article, so rest assured, my friends. Here we are. The fishermen scramble to swap their catch in a brief and confused frenzy. One of them Ronaldo Armas was satisfied to have picked up products for family members in his village. Still, sometimes he doesn't manage to exchange his catch for anything, he says. Some days I spend 5 hours without swapping anything and I have to take all that fish home, he said. Oh my gosh. Look at that right there and how this article ends. So, this gets to, again, why barter is so inefficient as a medium of exchange. Here's this guy, this fisherman. He's hoping to God, like, God, I hope you guys like fish. He goes in the market, hey, I will take, I want some bread. I need something. I can't just eat fish all day. And then people are like, no, I don't want it, your fish. And so he has to take the fish home. But if he had some sort of medium of exchange, something that other people would agree to as payment, he wouldn't have to worry about the fish going bad. He could find somebody. Because at least if he had something that would not be something that you don't have to worry about keeping fresh, like, say, fish, something that would be easily divisible, something that, that can hold its value, that's relatively stable, something that is, very uniform in its existence. It's like with fish, is one fish the same as every other fish? No, sometimes fish are big, sometimes they're small, whatever. And there's different types of fish. So, what would be a really good medium of exchange for this fisherman who had to take his fish home and not get them sold after he worked all day laboring, bringing in this fish so he could hopefully trade it for something? What would help this guy be, I don't know, say like a gold or a silver? And ladies and gentlemen, what I just read to you in this article, this is pointing out how important owning a physical precious metal like gold and silver is. What if that fisherman had some silver? But see, people right now are being very creative with how they're bartering. But if you were the guy who did indeed have silver stored up, say you need some food or whatever it is you need, someone will willingly accept that. And now getting back to what I just said in a few episodes ago, heck, I think it was the last one I did, since I'm so far behind. But I was even referring to an episode I did years ago on this show, is pointing out the lady and that wrote her little journal who went through and lived through the hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic in Germany. She said, oh my gosh. Well, I don't think she said, oh my gosh. But she's like, none of us were an expert on inflation. No one even knew what inflation was. But in 2 weeks, everybody became an expert on inflation. So, you ask your friends and family now, like, hey, look at the silver coin. People be like, wow, that's so shiny. That's so cool. Looks nice. But I don't know what it means or anything. But guess what? If you go through an experience like what's going on in Venezuela right now, you will figure out very damn quickly, oh my gosh, that's a John F. Kennedy 1964 $50. That's made of 90% silver. So then you're calculating, okay, what's the spot price of silver? You're trying to figure out what the silver value is, okay. And you'll be like, okay, yeah, that's a good deal. I'll be willing to accept that because someone will also be willing to accept that silver. It's not like silver expires. Sure, it tarnishes a little bit. Gold doesn't tarnish. That's why gold is probably the ultimate money. But silver is still a really great alternative. It's, smaller denominations. Silver is the sister metal to gold. So if you're trying to prepare for a crisis, if you think we have a Venezuela coming our way, if you think what the Fed has done since 2008 and that they have not fixed the economy, that really they're just papering over and thinking that, everything's all good, this Band-Aid, yep. No, the Fed thinks this isn't a Band-Aid, that they've actually cured the problem. They're raising interest rates. Yep, everything's fine, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, the next boom. Man, there's so many jobs out there. You snatch up that job, make the money, spend the money. Yes, that's how it all works, ladies and gentlemen. That's how people think. That's how the mainstream press thinks. But if you think that, no, I think they're wrong. I think there is a crisis coming. I don't think this is sustainable. I think this is all funny money floating around. And it's caused a massive misallocation of resources in the economy, that a lot of people are doing things for work. Yeah, they're making a profit right now. And their investments seem like they're all working out. Yes, you have some of your friends that maybe think they're freaking geniuses and how they've invested their money in the stock market, but the stock market's only really gone up. Okay, sure, it's kind of down a little bit this year, but overall, what is this, like a 9-year bull market in the stock market? I mean, everybody thinks they're a genius. And things are getting very toppy. And actually, if you look at, and typically, and as I've talked about on the show, is what the Fed's doing as they're raising interest rates. And we're seeing the yield curve is very close to inverting right now, which the Federal Reserve doesn't see that as a problem. So here's the pin, as I describe it, getting closer and closer to popping the bubble or the balloon, whatever you want to use. And so the Fed keeps hiking them up, thinking everything's fine. But and another way to look at that pin that's moving closer and closer to that popping that bubble is the increase in the money supply. Well, as the Fed has become less easy, they're still easy, but they've become less easy. The amount of and the percentage increase in the money supply is the lowest it's been prior to the crisis in 2008. Yeah, we've typically seen a growth in the money supply around 10%. Now it's around 4 or 5%. So it's gotten much less. And that's why a lot of these things that people see is like, oh my gosh, yeah, everything's working, but it works until the money supply and people and the liquidity is gone, because this liquidity has been created because of all this artificial funny money floating around. That's what's going on. And so it's scary, ladies and gentlemen. We are indeed heading for a massive collapse. Now, am I saying that it's like going to be the freaking dark ages? No, I'm not saying that. There is brightness, but we have to, once we get through this tunnel, once we enter the temporary dark ages, the people who have prepared themselves, they're going to be the fastest ones out of that tunnel. You will be able to create so many opportunities for yourself and to help people around you. And you'll be able to create the life that you've dreamed of by preparing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I've been trying to do on this show since I've started it. I wanted more and more people to understand what the hell is going on. Because what you get in the press, what you get from the Federal Reserve, what all these people say, these politicians, both sides of the aisle, they are not telling you the truth, or they don't even know the truth themselves. They think they know the truth. But yeah, there is even if they think they kind of know the truth, there is a lot of distortion there too. Because they got to play the game. Well, here on this show, it's Justin Moore Show, we do not play any games. I'll tell you guys straight up. Like I saw with Bitcoin. I saw Bitcoin, it was in a bubble right there. It's like, man, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, man, it's gone way up more than I thought gold would ever go up. Well, let me take that back. A lot of people in the gold industry, they thought, oh my gosh, yeah, 3,000 an ounce, yeah, that won't be a problem. Bitcoin went up $3,000 in like a day. Well, maybe a few days. Like, that's crazy. And here, gold, a commodity that's been used as money for thousands and thousands of years, here some little digital currency just becomes way more valuable than that. I mean, things have been so crazy. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I thought this would be a really good episode for me and a great article for me to do right before I leave for Freedom Fest. Just talking about the craziness with money. What I want to try to do, I want to get more interviews. I have a few other guys I want to get back on the show. I've got to get that, I think, and also interviewing some experts in the field. Monetary policy, economics, philosophy, so forth. It will help, of course, you guys understand the situation better, but also it's going to help me catch up. Because I've been so far behind. I've just been seriously crazy busy. I'm trying to do the best I can. And I thank all of you guys out there for listening. I appreciate your support. Just do what you can and try to learn as much as you can. I mean, that's why for me, years ago, I joined Tom Woods' Liberty Classroom. If you want to join there, if you join through my little link on my website, you click on the picture of Tom Woods, looks like he's speaking to a crowd. You click on that. You help out the show, and you're helping yourself out because you're learning from Tom Woods and professors he trusts and that are in the Austrian tradition of economics, which I believe is the correct view of how the economy works. So if you do that, or you can donate to my show via PayPal, whatever you want to do, or just if you buy from Amazon like I do, I've been an Amazon Prime member since 2011. I'm one of the idiots who bought the Amazon phone. That was a piece of crap. I mean, it just never caught on. You never had the support for it. It was horrible. You felt like you're in no man's land trying to get apps. It was so bad, but it was kind of cool. I had you tilt and move the background. It kind of had a 3D viewing space. I don't know what it is. I'm not that good at technology. I used to be. But anyway, guys, any goods you buy from Amazon, by clicking through my link, I get a small commission back. So if you do all that to help me out, I will be back here next week. Hopefully I'll have some interviews for you guys. And I'm going to try to get back on track here for you guys so I can keep cranking out episodes every single week. And I'll talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.